Hello and welcome to episode 21 for our Let's Play of The Lord of the Rings. In the last episode, we crossed the Anduin, we met Radagast, we captured Gollum, and we reunited with the Ghost King from the Shire and cleared the barrow here in Sauron's graveyard. So now we're going to return to the maze that Gollum mentioned when we were on the path, and we're going to sneak our way through the maze and into Dol Guldur. On the way back, we're going to recruit Celebrith back to our party, although we'll end up getting rid of him before all too long. And remember, you want to stay off the road for the most part at this point. If you go to the east, you'll get caught by the orc sentries and the game will be over. And like I mentioned in the video before, it is possible to use the road to get to Dol Guldur as long as you kind of stay off the side and close to the trees. But anyways, right north of the path here is the forest maze that Gollum told us about. And if we go through here, he mentioned that the orcs or the Nazgul wouldn't spot us, and we could safely get into the fortress. Now this is, the wind rustles the trees, and pieces of old spiderwebs fall to the ground. I was going to say this is kind of a similar area to the old forest from back in the Shire. Gollum begins to hiss. Maze is long and hot, and filled with nasty spiders that bind poor Smeagol in cruel sticky webs. But we will come, my precious. Yes, we will comes. But I was saying it's similar to the old forest, but there aren't any alternate paths you can take that will get you lost. It's just one single winding path, so at least you don't have to worry about alternate routes or anything like that. But you will have a lot of spiders to deal with. This won't be the last time that we deal with spiders in the maze here. And you'll just want to keep going along. There's not really much to this, more spider webs, but there's not really much to this part other than just following the winding path and spiders. Now I said there weren't any alternate routes you can take, but there is actually one, but it's at the very end of the forest. So I'll point that out when we get to there. But it is very close to the end, near the exit of the maze, near Dol Guldur, so we don't have to worry about that for quite a while. More about the maze being long and the spiders from Gollum there. A lot of the stuff will get repeated in these text boxes throughout here. The only other thing that will happen is branches can fall off and hit your leader, so you just have to watch out for that. But even if that happens, it'll only be a couple points of damage. Although you want to conserve your health as much as possible because there will only be one chance to do some healing in Dol Guldur besides the rations that you bring in with you. So don't be surprised if any of your characters die while we're in there, because this will be the hardest part of the game so far, which I guess is appropriate since we're very near the end. A branch crashes down from the trees and hits the leader. And that's what I was telling you about the tree branches. And I'm not sure if that is triggered if you're close to any of these trees or what, so I guess you can just try and stay as far away from them as possible. Although that's probably kind of hard in a forest maze made out of trees. And I think we should be getting pretty close here. Another branch falling down. I think I'll use some of Aragorn's Athelas to heal him. Well, it didn't do very much. This is the area I was telling you about, the area you can go up here. But I wouldn't advise it because there's no items or upgrades. There's really no reason to go up there. There's just enemies to fight. A black squirrel leaps amongst the branches and hisses at you. The hedge to the east seems to be a lot thinner than the other hedges in this maze. You sense powerful magic coming directly from the east. And that's how you know that you're almost out of the forest maze here. So we each have to deal with this last group of spiders, and then we'll be able to leave. There's something magical about the hedge directly to the east of you. You can just walk through it there. Gollum hisses, "No, that is not the way to secret entrance. Go east and find the big stone. Yes, my precious, goes east. If you go to front door, the wraiths will catch us and hurt us, and we won't find the precious." The stone he's talking about is actually right here to the north. I think if you use perception, on the right-hand side of this stone is a concealed entrance. A hobbit-sized creature can slip through it. It takes a great exertion of strength to allow someone as big as a human to enter. And here we are. You've entered Dol Guldur. Hey, where's Gollum? There's actually another building off to the side of Dol Guldur that you can explore if you want. And it will also give you an entrance here into Dol Guldur. But there's only enemies in there, just opportunities to get hurt, so I wouldn't advise doing that either. But if we remember correctly, Dol Guldur has 10 levels. And so we've come in to the fortress on the 5th level. Seems to be a sort of a prison here. A human's voice weakly croaks, "Go away, find someone else to torment." Well, we could at least free him from his prison here. If you pick the lock, Bridefin will join your party. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Celebrith, because he's been nothing but a disappointment to us, because there's actually another prisoner down here that we can free as well, after we deal with these orcs. But if you have a choice between the dwarf or Bridefin, I would definitely recommend Bridefin, because unequipped, he can deal 20 points of damage to a target with his brawl ability. And even though he doesn't have much health, he's probably one of the characters that will end up dying for you. But he definitely helps with trolls and big slow enemies like that. A dwarven voice cries out in rage, "A curse upon you! Dwarves consider it an honor to be tortured in the dungeons of Dol Guldur. You will never bend me to the will of your dark lord." We'll just free him as well. The lock clicks and the cell door swings open. We'll give him a weapon too. Give him the spider sword, I guess. Hane. I guess this is the companion of the dwarf we met in Moria. The one that we found in the second deep over there. There's one more thing you're going to want to do on this floor. Is fight this orc and the 2 spiders over here. Because he has an item that we will need for one of the higher levels. Now I mentioned that Dol Guldur is 10 stories, and we're on the 5th story right now, so I'm going to explore the lower levels first before we go upwards. If you use your perception over here, the key that you have found has a very unusual shape and seems to have been crafted from a strange red metal that not even a dwarf can recognize. And we have the red key. So you'll want to grab that. Now we can begin to explore the lower levels of Dol Guldur. So we'll go down to the 4th level here. And as soon as you do, you get attacked by 3 Olog High. And this is one of the battles where it's handy to have Bridefin in your party, because he can do large amounts of damage, even though he's kind of slow and his he doesn't come up in the combat queue that often. Still definitely a help. He's definitely one of the characters that has a very good chance of being killed, given the number of enemies we're going to be facing in exploring the dungeon here. And so here's Bridefin coming up. Well, I've really been hyping him, and he kind of let me down there, but I think that's going to be the rare That's going to be the exception to the rule when it comes to his combat. I don't know why Hane's not coming up at all. There he is. So once you get rid of those trolls, you'll want to come around to the south and to the west. This level's kind of frustrating because you'll come to a couple points where you just are blinded, and you just have to sort of wait a couple seconds to be freed from whatever it is. There are going to be a couple points where you see these eyes on the ground, and anytime you do, it's a good idea not to stand on them because you'll lose some of your stat points. I think endurance, although I can't remember exactly. Something will be lowered. And it'll give you a message about not stepping on the eye or something like that. This will be the last time we get blinded, although we'll get 2 more trolls here. And there we got one of them. And there goes Hane. Yeah, like I said, don't be surprised if you lose some of your members here throughout the dungeon. And since it's the end of the game, it's not really that important that you hang on even to some of your main characters. Although if you play the 2 towers, some of your items will be able to transfer over and your stats and all that. But anyway, so we're down on the 3rd level, and one important thing about this level is it's sort of enchanted to look like a different layout than it actually is. So if you have the magic glass from Sauron's grave, you don't have to worry about that at all. And if not, you'll either have to use the Melian Word of Power or counter magic to show the floor how it really is. And we're going to explore the rest of this in the next episode, so I'll go a little bit more into depth about that. But so we'll continue exploring the bottom 3 levels of Dol Guldur in the next video.